The finals. ChickenBob Bakalol. Game 1.
Oh boy.
Oh boy, oh boy. So, okay. What is game 1?
What it is.
Bakalol's opening up with his trusted double prince deck. ChickenBob with his, his rocket cycle, his innovative little rocket cycle deck.
I think this is trouble. For the reasons you identified before, hard to get the princes up to the Inferno Tower if you have enough stopping it. Ice Wizard is a very key card in stopping princes. Zap, very key card. Guard's a very key card. Inferno Tower, great. Then on top of that fact, you have to deal with a bowler splashing your units.
Yes.
And then on top of that fact, you have to deal with rockets coming down on your buildings.
Yeah, I think the thing that's really going to suck is if you try to build up too big of a push behind your tower, it gets rocketed, right? Your mini P.E.K.K.A.s get rocketed, your princes get rocketed, your princesses could theoretically get poisoned and rocketed. So Bakalol's really going to have to play in the front yards, right? Like by the river. And that's kind of where you don't want the princes to be, because if they're just over the bridge and the fight just keeps dragging on, the enemy tower is taking a lot of shots. On the other hand, if he can get a clear shot and just take out one Inferno Tower with one of those big charge Prince shots, ChickenBob's losing a tower. Because the bowler's not going to save you. The bowler's not going to knock those things off the tower.
Absolutely.
I'm gonna put Ice Wizard up there because having played a lot of Prince games, man, Ice Wizard might be the key. The Ice Wizard actually survives a Prince charge. And that can be huge in the same way that you just block the charge. He has to wind up and swing a whole other time. A lot of damage gets done between that first and second shot.
Yeah.
ChickenBob and Bakalol both open with collectors. Ideal for both of them. Bakalol playing it smartly in the center, because I'm sure he's seen ChickenBob's rocket by now. You know what I mean? He's probably been watching the stream, watching the top 4. Ooh, buddy. And no rocket for Bakalol there.
Let's see. Let's see. Inferno Tower is a cycle away.
Ooh, once again, those ice spirits. Is it going to get hit? It does get rolled over. And unfortunately, guards and bowlers going to stop this push before it begins. And oh wow, the placement of the princess was just a little too close and gave ChickenBob a very valuable poison. The big danger with spell decks, and I think it might take the meta about a week or so to adjust if ChickenBob is to take this finals, is that you really need to space your stuff out. If you never give the spell cycle decks really high... Oh, is he going to make it? He does make it with the zap! And he pushes it down. Takes the tower, and there's the Ice Wizard to help slow. 1 shot. 2 shots. Doesn't get the second shot, and I think
big
2
connection
shots.
though on the Dark Prince.
You're right, though. Dark Prince charge does put him a little bit ahead here.
Does a lot of damage in.
But yeah, if you never give spell cycle decks good openings, the spells are pretty inefficient ways to deal damage to towers, and you can usually get ahead. But whenever a spell cycle deck can get those, zaps, poisons, rockets while hitting anything else of value, that's their recipe to win.
Absolutely. Mini P.E.K.K.A. against the bowler. We'll clean that up.
Let's see if a split push comes down the other lane here. Ooh, with the guards down, it seems like it's a good time for Prince and Dark Prince.
The big curiosity is ChickenBob only took damage because of an execution failure. His Inferno Tower wasn't close enough to attract both the princesses.
Very interesting. I think you pump up here. I don't think you actually want to attack into this fresh. You want to. It only lasts for 40 seconds. So you just bought yourself some time, especially because it's not quite double elixir yet. Just sit back and let it go. I wonder if maybe this would be a good time for a Prince behind the King Tower.
Yeah, I absolutely think so.
I like the Princess, actually.
The only thing about this is that the Princes move so quick that you're still going to get the value off the Inferno Tower anyways, right? And he's cycled to a second one.
Oh, and it hits again, but it doesn't connect with the tower.
It doesn't.
But the bull, oh, wow, and the guards are going to come in there. Does not even get a damage off. 3 pumps now for ChickenBob. The lack of poison or fireball in this deck is really starting to show, because ChickenBob can just sit back, cycle, pump up a whole bunch. And
oh my god.
There's only so much Bakalol can do about it.
Wow.
Chooses to hit. It does get it before it gets its first pump, so that's something. He does know that ChickenBob has an opening here, but not really. He's already back in 10.
Oh no, that's a bad spot for the Inferno Tower. Gets wiped up immediately.
And that bowler's not going to save you.
Yep.
A lot of elixir here, but he's choosing not to commit it. I wonder
where do you push? I think you absolutely, in that situation, you need to push the right side just because of what's on the left side. You don't have the time to wait for that left side push to diminish.
Notice we haven't seen a lot of split pushing this game. I wonder if maybe something that Bakalol could do with this deck is you start your Prince charge behind your right side tower. So if he wants to rocket, it's not really a great rocket, He
actually chooses to rocket there, and Bakalol is ahead. He's leaking a lot of elixir, but he becomes ahead by a lot.
Well, not really. I mean, there's 3 pumps on the board, so at some point, even though ChickenBob might be behind in elixir temporarily, it's not a lot. But with the rocket coming down, he feels safe to drop his thing. Great dodge of the princess. Actually, this is a great opening for Bakalol to make a move here because ChickenBob has just used his poison.
He has one more
Inferno Tower's on the board. Oh, and it's still going though. Does go down, but that Dark Prince isn't going to really make any headway.
The defensive capabilities of the cards that we mentioned are really starting to show.
And that Ice Wizard is just getting way more than its 3 elixir cost of value. Can the Prince... Oh, the Prince does not reach across the river.
Let's see.
Oh, it does get up there. Oh, and, oh my God, it falls just short from the right side tower shot.
Yeah.
If that tower had gone down, ooh, buddy.
Yeah. 537 health and 1 more rocket. I think that's it.
Is that... No, it's a zap.
Yeah.
With the zap, it goes down.
Yeah,
so
rocket
good game.
cycle.
Ooh.
The defensive structures, I mean, it's very similar to anytime there is the ability to play certain cards in an efficient way to handle defense of any kind of situation.
Yeah.
You can spell cycle, right? It just enables you to spell cycle because you're never really scared of your opponent pushing through.
Bakalol opts to switch up here, so he is not, I mean, he's not playing his double prince even though he could have stuck with it. He opts to switch over to the giant bowler poison deck. ChickenBob has to switch decks and also chooses to go for the giant bowler poison. So we have a little mirror match here in game 2 of the finals.
Bakalol on the back foot is down 1-0. If he loses another one, he has to take 2nd place.
That's a very ballsy play, I guess, for Bakalol there, because he's obviously so much more familiar with the double print splitting, and he knows that this deck at least is not that same minor control rocket whatever deck. So he's playing a deck that he has less experience with his entire tournament on the line.
We'll have to see. I mean, he's been grinding all week with Giant Bowler. We'll have to see if that's going to help him in the Invitational at all.
Once again, though, I actually think Bakalol might have the favorable matchup, though, of these two, because he's got the pump and he's got that Musketeer, and we've seen how good that Musketeer is. Like,
Musketeer is really a big card.
Very underrated in the bowler matchups, because she can stand at the river, and while everything's just gummed up and all these bowlers are rolling at each other for like a minute, she's just like, oh, okay, pop, 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 my bowler wins.
From the safety of the bridge.
Yes.
Is the big important part.
Bakalol, very confident that there is not a rocket in this deck, plays his collector right back in there in the corner.
Yep. Let's see. Bakalol had a very hard time getting anything done in the first game. Now is facing elimination.
It's interesting. Last week we had the winner play an Inferno Tower in both decks, and now we have a finalist who has it in neither deck, and then another finalist who has it only in one.
Ooh, one punch there.
Seems great though. And that bowler survives with the tower support. Now, actually, I'm surprised Bakalol didn't play a second pump there. Opts to go with the giant bowler. The Ice Wizard on the right side is not going to be able to stop that giant bowler push. And I think the bowler getting turned around is really good here.
That's going to get about 4 punches there.
Wow, ChickenBob's already saying good game.
He has no elixir to play a mini P.E.K.K.A. at all.
He must have really gotten behind on that last push.
Yeah. That really hurts. He had no elixir to play for the giant and just ended up in this really awkward situation where, and that's the big thing with a bowler on defense against a giant bowler.
Yeah.
You don't do a lot of DPS. It costs 5 elixir.
Right.
And it doesn't push any of them back, so they're just kind of walking towards their target, continuing to do damage.
Yeah. And while this isn't relevant in this match, it also doesn't hit air, which is why we've been seeing those Lava Hound decks become so popular, right?
Yeah.
You see this, you put a 10 elixir giant bowler push on the field and like...
Yeah.
Just doesn't do anything to it.
Good counter push from Bakalol earns him a tower very early on in the match, and now ChickenBob is playing from the back foot.
However, both of Bakalol's towers have taken over 20% of their starting damage, so they are softened a little bit. And if Bakalol can put together a push on the right side while these left side, elixirs going around, you might see. But that poison is going to stop any. Seems to stop a lot. And here we go, Musketeer again, just popping shots on everything.
Yep.
Or just dancing. Dancing Musketeer. Wow, another big push here on the side.
He can't play aggressive giant, and there he does.
Oh, the bowler. Oh, wow, the knockback.
And again, you're in this situation. He can't even play his mini P.E.K.K.A., and the giant is already at the tower. He had to play the Ice Wizard, and the mini P.E.K.K.A. is still delayed, and the giant is just getting so many swings.
Oh, and the mini P.E.K.K.A. survives with a sliver of health.
Oh my goodness.
ChickenBob, I think, knows that his fate is sealed here in game 2.
30 seconds to do 2 towers. Wow, that poison. Yeah.
We are going to a game 3.
Wow, Bakalol. How can you believe it? The first game, Bakalol ends up losing. The second game, Bakalol's just
But you know what's even more key here, though? Bakalol is going into Game 3, the deciding game of the tournament, with his favorite deck available, right?
Yeah.
Like, so I think he actually might have even been second leveling the strategy here, going, you know what? If I'm going to win, I have to go into a deciding game, and I want my best deck in the deciding game.
Yeah.
And he's going to have to play against ChickenBob's Giant Bowler deck. Think about that, too. He knows everything in this deck.
Yeah.
He can look at it, right?
Yeah.
So, like, he can sort of plan a strategy around of how to do this, but obviously ChickenBob... I mean, Giant Bowler is nothing to sneeze at. There's a lot of ways that he can pull that game out.
Absolutely. 1-1 now. ChickenBob versus Bakalol. I saw a lot of people in the chat saying ChickenBob. Maybe their decision is changing.
I'm such a Bakalol mark that I just want the double Prince deck to win. Like, I don't even, like, it might not be the best deck in the format, but it's one of my favorite decks, and Bakalol is such a fun and inventive player to watch. You know who hasn't actually gotten up there is Dark Prince. No,
Yep.
ChickenBob's deck, now here's how ChickenBob can win this game. Right? It may not be the greatest matchup for him by default, but check it out. He has both Ice Spirit and Skeletons and Ice Wizard. Those are three things that all really slow and can stop those charges. So while he doesn't have the Inferno Tower, something like Skeleton's Mini P.E.K.K.A. can stop a 9 elixir push very easily, almost all
And
on its
really,
own.
the interesting thing to identify here is because his other deck had all the cards that would beat Double Prince. He had the guards, he had the Inferno Tower, he had the Ice Wizard, he had all these different cards that would help him deal with the Prince. Now he's had to give up his guards and give up his Inferno Tower.
Yeah.
So he's left in a situation where he has to use Skeletons and Ice Spirits.
Yeah, go ahead and close that door as we get into the finals. Oh my god, Game 3 of the finals! This happened last week as well, where the finals went to a Game 3. Okay. Bakalol, ChickenBob, it's come down to this. The Rocket Cycle deck is out for ChickenBob. That deck has actually not lost yet today, so that deck is a very impressive thing no matter what.
Yeah.
This will come down to Giant Bowler on ChickenBob's side versus Double Prince on Bakalol's side. Hey, both great, easy names to pronounce, too.
Yeah.
Man. ChickenBob, Bakalol, I can say both these things. Oh, that seems very minor, but now that princess can get zapped. If that princess was a little bit further back, she would have killed that and survived. Here we go, though. Ooh, the Ice Spirit comes in. Oh, and Cup hits both of them. But no, as you can see, though, right there, that was 6 elixir for Bakalol, 5 elixir for ChickenBob, and he's now threatening a counterattack.
Yep.
And actually, if he then even takes off a shield, that was actually really good for ChickenBob.
Yeah, I would say ChickenBob is pretty happy about that exchange.
But then again, Bakalol gets double duty out of it, right? Like, he both stops the Bowler and the Mini P.E.K.K.A. for one elixir cost.
All right, Giant at the River, I think, is a freebie.
I don't like Giant at the River against this triple charger deck because everything in their deck fights Giants really well.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There's like oh wow, the guards didn't absorb the Ice Spirit and now they walked into the poison.
Yeah.
That's not very good defense for Bakalol, and that makes a pretty solid. The counterattack's not as good as it could be.
Yeah, I agree.
Oh, but the Ice Spirit Mini P.E.K.K.A. does make it. At least
So
getting
it's
Ice
6-4 right now in terms of elixir. Yeah, 64 in terms of elixir. So Bakalol has an opportunity to make something happen, but he still needs to respect the Skeletons and the Zap.
I think the pumping up is smart, and putting it on the far right side is smart so that there's no easy poisons of that side tower. That's one of the main advantages that Bakalol's deck has over the enemy deck is oh wow, great zap. Oh, and the charge hits the Mini P.E.K.K.A. That could be a game-changing difference in the placement of these games.
This counter push is going to be very, very strong.
This is a huge counter push because he can put the Dark Prince with it, or the Mini P.E.K.K.A., the Princess, Ice Spirit. There's a lot coming in here.
Oh god, the Bowler will take
Bowler
down the Ice
great
Spirit.
Job, yeah.
Mini P.E.K.K.A. and Prince are doing a lot of damage.
Oh, but it's up there! Is he going to zap maybe? No, he opts not to zap.
Look at the elixir advantage right now.
Oh, you're right. I'm surprised Bakalol didn't pump up. This would have been a great time. The Ice Spirit's not going to do anything, right?
Yeah.
He could have pumped up and been 2 pumps ahead.
So the Giant is going to really
Oh,
muck
wow.
things
The
up
poison's
here.
down, so the guards come in. The Bowler is not up yet either, so he knows the Bowler can't come in. The Ice Spirit freezes the Mini P.E.K.K.A. as well. Oh, my God. This push is starting to run away from ChickenBob here. This defense is starting to get a little ugly.
Guards soak up the Mini P.E.K.K.A. damage, and now there's a second Prince, and it might go straight for the tower,
The
actually.
Mini P.E.K.K.A. hits, and the
and
Prince
it
is going
does.
for it, and it hits it with 30 seconds to go. We got
Oh,
2 Princes
no.
on the tower. The Bowler can't knock him back. Bakalol takes
Oh,
it. The double Princes are still working over. Oh, my God. ChickenBob, you have 20 seconds to do 750 damage to the left side tower. Bakalol starts playing his Princes on the tower, even with no
Giant
threats.
is
just to
slow.
have
He needs
bodies
to
in the
play
front.
it now. There's no
I think
more
he's letting it
time.
go. I think ChickenBob knows that his fate is sealed here. And
Oh
wow.
my
Oh my God. Great cycling there. Bakalol knew when to do those counter pushes. One of the best split pushing, one of the best counterattacking players I've seen in the last, in all of season 2, really, in the last couple weeks. And Bakalol, after top 8ing, but never getting into the cash rounds, wins his first Super Magical Cup title with a very underrated, usually not seen deck in Double Prince.